Okay, I've got to put up a chicken fence, build more raised beds, mulch the vegetables, order logs for the fire, make more tyre planters, reinforce the big log store, make another leaf mould bin, find somewhere to put all the food I'm preserving. I've got a lot of projects that I want to get done over the next few weeks, but I need to get supplies for most of them. So this week is mainly going to be spent in the kitchen as I attempt to preserve the food that I've been growing all summer and find a use for the 27 eggs the hens have laid over the last few days. This lemon juicer was my mum's, and I love using stuff that I've inherited from my parents. I like secondhand stuff anyway, but I get a real kick out of that personal connection to the history of something, even if it is a lemon juicer. I'm glad I've got plans for this curd, or I would just eat it by the spoonful, and then all my teeth would fall out. Why have I never made lemon curd before? Why have I never had lemon curd before? What a sheltered lemon curd-free life I was living. I would love to be able to grow my own lemons, but I don't have enough well-lit inside space in the cottage, and even if I did, I don't think it's warm enough in here for lemons. North East Scotland is not known for its citrus fruit. After last week's apple pie fiasco, I'm still looking for a good way of preserving some of my apples. Ideally without using the freezer, because my freezer is currently full of tomatoes that I'm hoping to make into a batch of marinara sauce. I just need another couple of kilos of tomatoes to ripen first. And ideally, I'd like to batch cook some soup and fit that into the freezer this week, so there is no room for apples of any kind. So I'm gonna try dehydrating some. I've been getting really into dehydrating over the last few weeks. I don't think I've really talked about it before, but I've been dehydrating all sorts of different things, from slices of lemon to sweet corn to peppers to herbs, and it's really, really fun. So I'm going to try and dehydrate some apple pieces that I can rehydrate and use for crumbles and pies in the future. I would say it can't be worse than the pie filling, but I'm not going to tempt fate. I spent yesterday evening looking after a poorly hen. She was egg bound and had spent most of the day in the nesting box feeling sorry for herself. So I gave her a warm bath and some calcium, and she came inside and spent the night in a cat carrier in my office because I didn't want to put her back into the coop with damp feathers, because it's getting pretty cold out overnight at the moment and no one wants to sit in a chicken coop with damp feathers all night. She's back to her normal self today, so that's a relief. It's so good to see their feathers coming back in, even though a couple of them are having them pecked out again, which is why they currently have purple backsides. But it seems to be helping, and hopefully by the time the cold weather arrives properly, they'll be a lot featherier than they are at the moment. You are a bully. I'm going to rename you Bully instead of Bossy. Yep. Chickens. I'm planning on making a batch of carrot soup tomorrow, and I wouldn't normally use homegrown carrots for carrot soup because they're a bit too nice for that. But my Paris market round carrots have been in the ground too long and they've all split. And as the chickens showed no interest in eating them, I'm hoping they'll be good enough to put in some soup. Maybe not the most aesthetically pleasing carrots in the world. They are supposed to be this shape, but they're not supposed to be quite so wholey. Hopefully they'll taste okay when I've cleaned them up a little bit and chopped off all of the eaten bits. Where have these bugs come from? I'm being eaten alive. One of the challenges living in quite a small cottage is finding enough space to store everything. And I have big dreams of a giant kitchen pantry cupboard full of dry goods and a basement root cellar lined with shelves filled with home canned food. And a basement root cellar is never going to happen because there is way too much granite in the ground for that, and it is definitely not in my renovation budget. I'm hoping that I can work a pantry into the kitchen eventually, but that's not going to help me store all of the food that I've been preserving this year. There is a room in the cottage that I'm definitely not using to its full potential, and it's a small room off of the living room that the previous owners used as a dining room, and I'm currently using as a graveyard for things that I don't really know what else to do with. But I do have big plans of turning it into a makeshift pantry at some point this autumn. I've been putting off this project because I don't really know where to start. Fortunately, Millenote are advertising with me this week, and their online canvas is designed to help you plan, brainstorm, and collaborate on your creative projects. I've used Millenote's digital mood boards to plan my raised bed garden and my chicken coop with great success, and it's making planning the pantry project a lot easier. As with all of my projects, there's a lot to think about. It's a temporary makeover to get me through until I renovate, so I don't want to spend a fortune on things that I might not need later. I'm keeping track of all my ideas on my main project board, from pricing different shelving options to brainstorming ideas for repurposing them post-renovation. Big projects often feel pretty daunting, and Millenote's list feature is really useful for breaking down tasks into manageable chunks and organising things I need to buy or scavenge for the project. You can add notes, images, tasks, and videos all in one place. It's the perfect planning tool for creatives, as you can organise your ideas in a visually appealing way that makes sense to you. I've been browsing for inspiration for a while now and collecting all my images on a second mood board because while I want a useful practical space, it is a room in the cottage without a door, so I'd like it to look as nice as possible. Millenote's web clipper tool makes it easy to save images you find online straight to your mood board, and their mobile app syncs directly to the desktop version so you can add things to your board whenever inspiration strikes, or reference it while you're out shopping for supplies. Millenote have over 100 templates for every creative project. I've used the interior design project plan for my pantry, but they have templates for everything from storyboarding to novel planning to marketing. So whether you're a podcaster, graphic designer, or you're starting a YouTube channel, Millenote's designed to help you organise your work. Sign up to Millenote for free with no time limit using the link in the description. It's really damp and dreary outside today, so I have no guilt about working in the kitchen instead of in the garden. I'm planning on making a big batch of carrot soup and some apple and date chutney in my slow cooker. Dates, raisins, apples, onions. Okay, well the onions are in the shed, so I'm gonna have to go outside. I grew 36 onions this year, and I'm not sure how many I'd need to be onion self-sufficient, but recipes usually call for an onion, and when I'm batch cooking, I get 6 or 7 portions out of one recipe. So 36 times 6 is 216, and that's quite a lot of dinners. Also, some of the onions are enormous. The onions are homegrown, the apples are from my neighbour's tree, but sadly dates don't like the Scottish climate, so they're from Tesco. Set timer, 4 hours. I can't believe I made it to 34 without trying dehydrated apple. I'd planned to save it to use over the winter, but this jar will be empty within the week because it is delicious. Two of my goals for 2025 were to grow some of my own food and to cook more from scratch. And I'm about to make soup with homegrown carrots, homegrown garlic, homegrown onions, and homegrown parsley. So I feel like I can call those a success. I spent all evening in the kitchen last night and I made a big batch of carrot soup, jarred up 8 jars of my apple and date chutney, and I dehydrated all the leftover carrots. So I'm pretty happy with how that went, but it didn't use up any eggs, so that's a job for today. This lemon zester is the best thing I've bought in ages. Can you eat expired poppy seeds? Fresh poppy seeds have a mild, sweet and nutty scent. Rancid ones may smell sour, off, or like wet paint. They do smell a bit like wet paint. I'm gonna leave the poppy seeds out of the lemon and poppy seed cookies because these expired 5 years ago and no one needs cookies that smell like wet paint. The cookie dough's got to chill in the fridge for an hour, and in the meantime I'm going to make a batch of Scotch pancakes, which I will hopefully be able to find some space for in my freezer. Living alone, I batch cook and freeze as much as possible.
partly to cut down on waste, but mainly so there's always something to eat when I don't have the energy to cook. Out in the countryside, if I'm too tired to cook, I'm definitely too tired to drive into town to pick up a takeaway.
I'm putting some of my eggs into the freezer so I'll be able to bake with them over the winter because I'm expecting the hens to stop laying. But if in the spring I'm back to getting 3 eggs a day, I'm probably going to put an honesty box at the end of my driveway and sell some of my excess eggs to my neighbours because there's only so many eggs that I can use. I've used 11 so far this week and I've still got 15, not including the 6 I'm about to put in the freezer. Considering I've never grown chilies from seed before and they spent most of the summer squashed by courgettes, they didn't do too badly. I need to start working on my pantry because I am running out of places to put everything, and we've forecast quite a bit of rain over the next couple of weeks, so it might be time for an inside project.